Solid Gold Radio, 979 FM.
Hi, this is Trysette, and you're listening to my good friend Anthony Barnes on 979 FM.
All right, Trysette, it's great to have you here on 979 FM. We're going to have a little chat about your great music and your career.
Thanks for inviting me, Anthony.
Well, I'm just looking at your bio, and you grew up in Grafton, which was the home of Troy Cassadaly, my mates the McClyments, and Don Walker.
That's exactly right. What's in the water there?
Yeah.
There's a big river full of lots of good water, I think.
For those of you who are not aware, you're basically a piano player.
Well, I was classically trained growing up. In fact, I'm one of 9 children. I'm number 4. We go by numbers in our family. And we were all sent to the convent, to the nuns. We didn't go to school at the convent necessarily, but we had classical piano training either before school or after school. We had to play an instrument in the orchestra as well, so I did learn cello for some time. And we played in a centre every year, so life was pretty full of music.
And just looking at your early influences, including Carole King, Elton John, James Taylor and Lionel Richie.
Yeah. Yes, that's who I was listening to. We didn't actually have a lot of music other than classical playing in our home, which you can imagine because of 9 children at one point always having to practice their scales or their classical pieces. So the only real exposure I had to pop music was Countdown at that time, and the school bus, and I did the school bus radio, and I did sing in the choir at school as well. So I got to hear some pop music, but I kind of envy those kids whose parents have pop music playing in the house, and they expose them to all kinds of genres that they have grown up with. But nevertheless, I was influenced by people like and it did help me being a piano player, especially with Carole King and Elton John, even Lionel Richie, of course.
Yeah. Because
they had Lionel had beautiful ballads. And I think when you're starting out, ballads for me, I'm a sucker for a ballad, and I would kind of go home, I'd hear it on the radio, I'd go home and I would try and work out on the piano how to play it and sing it, and that's what taught me to play by ear.
Yeah, because as you know, as you probably saw on my Twitter and that, I'm a huge fan of Delta Goodrem. Yes,
I did see that. I love Delta. I have to admit, I've never been a big Delta fan. I haven't listened a lot to her music, but who could, know who she is and has heard her music on the radio for sure. I think she's amazing, and she's a great role model for Australian women. So that's great.
You went on to complete a Bachelor of Arts in Contemporary Music at the Southern Cross University in New South Wales. Mm-hmm, and immediately picked up by Warner Chappell Publishing.
Yes, I was. Right at the end of my 3-year Bachelor of Arts training, John Bommel, who was head of Warner Chappell at the time, he was a huge supporter of our course, and he came to the university and asked, did anybody want him to have a listen to any of their songs? And I thought, I don't know, I was all nervous, and I thought, he's going to hate them, all that self-doubt. But luckily I had recorded 3 songs because there was a beautiful state-of-the-art recording studio at the university. And I went in there very shyly and presented my songs, and he loved them and straight away offered me a publishing deal. I have to admit, though, I was a little bit green and I didn't really even understand what I had. I didn't understand what he was offering me, so I kind of regret in a little way not understanding it more and not making the most of that opportunity. However, years later now, I'm 5 albums down now, and I definitely realise that there's a time for everything, and it's a journey, and I didn't even have a lot of material back then to be able to even take advantage of it, I guess.
Yeah, because you're internationally renowned solo touring artist you have, and there's a quote from one of Paul McCartney's Wings, Danny Sywell, saying she's the real thing and being classically trained doesn't hurt either.
Isn't that awesome? I love that. In fact, on my YouTube channel, you can see a little video clip of myself and Denny Sywell in the studio with also bass player Larry Antonino. And because Denny came in to lay some drum tracks down for me in the beginning stages of the album. And at that time, my touring partner, Joy, and I were helping to raise money for, an organisation over there as well. So there's just a fun little video if anybody was interested in going to my YouTube channel, which is just youtube.com/Trysette, Try, there's that Y, Trysette. And yeah, you never know, there might be some fans of Denny there, but he was the drummer in Wings. Yeah,
of course. And what was it like having Denny in the studio with you?
Oh, fantastic. I mean, I have been so privileged and lucky to have been able to work with some of these, world-renowned musicians, session musicians in Los Angeles, because I was invited to record this album over there. And I'm in awe just watching these people work, and not only that, just knowing how amazing their lives have been and how much influence, they've had in the music industry.
Yes, and that latest release is the album Feel So Pretty.
Yes.
Yeah, that was recorded over in LA.
That's right. That was the one I've been recording. In fact, it was quite a process. It took a few years, but only because I could only work on it when I was there in between tours. And but in the first year, I was thinking, when's this album ever going to be finished? And after the third year, it was like, boy, I'm glad this album took so long, because I think I got a much better product for it, and the timing just kind of seems better now to be releasing it than it would have 2 years ago for me personally.
Yeah, because it's a piano-based album, man, featuring a cover of Snow Patrol's Chasing Cars. Yes.
I'm pretty excited about that, actually. My producer had to talk me into doing that. It's one of my favourite all-time songs, but I was a little nervous about putting it on because of how popular it's been and how many people have covered it, and again that kind of what if what will people think, that creeps in, which is ridiculous, I know, and he just said get over it and record it, and so I did, and I'm really glad that I did now, because I love it, and I'm getting a lot of wonderful feedback, so that makes me very happy.
Yes, and you can actually go to your website and grab a free download of that particular track.
You can, yes, if you just go to Trysette.com. It's there for free at the moment.
Yep, yeah, and you sign up for your newsletter, and then you get once you confirm your email address, you get your free download of Chasing Cars. You're going to be coming down to Melbourne to do a couple of shows?
Well, I'd love to. At the moment, while I'm back in Australia, because I tour mostly in America, but not for any other reason. When I come back here, I tend to just kind of spend a lot of time hibernating and with my family. But I do the odd show in Australia, and what I really love are the intimate concerts in people's homes. Wherever there's a piano, it has to be a real piano for me. Because I don't like those portable keyboards. I much prefer to play a real piano. Even an upright is fine, but it's just part of the package, and I think it creates, it's part of the show. It creates an ambience that you just don't get with a keyboard. So right now I'm focusing a lot on my online social media, just trying to sort of expose my new album to as much of the world as I can that way. And as well as that, I'm just booking about one show a month. So if you know of anybody with a piano in Melbourne, I would love to come and do a show. I find it difficult to book venues at the moment. Not difficult, but I like the in-house concerts because people really enjoy them too, and I find that people will come out to those more readily than they'll go out to a venue at the moment these days.
Our listeners can check you out and buy your albums at your website, which is
Trysette, TRYSETTE.com.
There's also links to your Twitter and your Facebook as well.
That's right, and of course, you can download at iTunes and Amazon and all those other places as well. But I do have the physical CDs. If they want to buy them personally from me, I'll sign them and put a little note in there, so they can get those from me at my website on the shop page.
Because I also noticed too that your voice has been compared to Norah Jones.
Yes. Does that resonate with you?
A little bit.
Yeah. Well, it's hard. The thing is, I get Carole King, Norah Jones, sometimes Sarah McLachlan. I get quite a few different, comparisons. But Norah Jones comes through all the time, and Carole King, actually more so. But the thing is it's important, I think, in a very short bio to be able to give people a sense of, if you can't tell them one or two or three artists that you may be compared to, then they're not going to have any idea what you do. You could be doing anything. So it helps people identify straight away, and to know whether they'd even be interested in checking you out or not. And I just think that's really, I know for myself too, if I hear of somebody and they say, I sound like Coldplay, I'm going to want to check them out because I love Coldplay, Snow Patrol,
Well, Trysette, it's great to have a chat to you and talk about your music and your career. And as we said, our listeners can either download your new album on iTunes, or they can go to your website and purchase a physical copy and as you said, have it signed and delivered and that sort of thing.
Yes, and it's been really fun chatting with you too, Anthony. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome, and we might do a catch-up sometime early in the new year, and we'll see what you've been up to.
That'll be great. Look forward to it for sure. Thanks again, Anthony. Talk to you soon. Hi, this is Trysette. You're listening to my Good Friend Dance on 979 FM, and this is a track from my new album,
I fell under the spell of your deep blue eyes. Now I can't sleep, though I have tried. You branded my soul, you made me a fool. You left me to yearn for you. And even if it's just a memory, you're the one who finally got to me. I tried to resist, but the moment we kissed, I knew it was too late. Don't you get under my skin? Don't you get under my skin? Don't you get under my skin? That wasn't in the plan when I let you in. Your kisses burned right to my very core, kinda like I never felt before. So what do I do now? How should I feel? How do I deal with this? They'll shake it off momentarily, and I know very soon I will be free. So don't you come round here, call out my name, only to fan my flame. Don't you get under my skin? Don't you get under my skin? plan when I let you in. Don't you get under my skin. Don't you get under my skin. Don't you get under my skin. That wasn't in the plan. That wasn't in the plan. And now that you're under my skin, now that you're under my skin, now that you're under my skin, my heart is in a spin. My heart is in a spin. And now it's all too late. Now it's all too late. Now it's all too late.
The greatest songs ever made, 979 FM with Trysette there, and Under My Skin. And I must thank Trysette for our chat. We actually chatted for a little over half an hour actually, and I had to get it down to a reasonable time length, so that was no problem at all. So big thanks to Trysette for that chat. And as we said, you can actually check Trysette at her website, which is allthews.trysette.com, and Trysette as in TRYSETTE for any tour dates. The mailing list, well, as we said, if you join our mailing list, you'll get a free download of Chasing Cars, videos, photos, the store where you can purchase a physical copy of Feel So Pretty, as well as her back catalogue, which is what I've done. Lyrics, contact, and all other details are on her website. And also I think there's a link to the Feel So Pretty album to download from iTunes. So big thanks to Trysette there for the chat.